Hello YouTube. Hello, hello, hello. It is Sunday. It is Sunday. This is about the third attempt that I've made to shoot a film. I don't know if something's trying to tell me something, you know, but for whatever reason there wasn't enough storage space and I couldn't make a film. Anyway, it's a Sunday and I'm having a sit down and been sort of catching up with news and events around the world, and sort of can't help but notice that there seems to be a great deal of sort of strife and trouble and anxiety when you look at, you know, news sources, and I'm not just talking about your regular own country news sources, but alternative news sources. And I'm just sort of thinking about history, and it's probably all related to the fact that we're moving soon and moving from this house. And I've mentioned in previous films that this house is very old. When I say very old, I mean really old. It dates from 1781. And I've actually got documentation, and I'll have to show those on another film, dating back that long. And it suddenly hit me, I think it was yesterday, I was thinking that the Constitution of the United States was written in 1787, I believe, if my history is correct, and then ratified in 1788. Is that correct? 1787, 1788. So my house is older than the Constitution of the United States, and I thought that was pretty profound and pretty huge, really, when I was thinking about that. And I guess the reason that I'm sort of focusing on that or thinking about that is the fact that you know, there seem to be massive changes happening within the United States, and I guess some people would probably say, well, you know, why? Well, what of it, you know? And I would say, well, you know, even though I live in England, in Great Britain, you know, the sort of the paths, if you like, of the United States and the United Kingdom have been connected and sort of interwoven for centuries, and we are deeply connected, I think, in many levels. And perhaps there are more connections, you know, than perhaps some people realise. And what happens in the United States, you know, deeply affects us in Great Britain, and maybe vice versa. And perhaps that's been the way throughout history. So I just thought that was quite sort of significant. You know, I'm very interested in history, and I think, you know, there are lots of things that have happened in history that are have shaped, you know, where we are, have shaped where we've come to at this point in time. And I would say to anybody, you know, that that things can seem very dark sometimes, and it's very important. I think it's very important when things feel like that, to remember history, and to remember that you know, we've been through dark times in the past, and not to lose perspective, not to lose you know, hope and sort of confidence that sort of you know, justice or whatever will prevail in the future. So I'm just having a kind of a quiet sit down and a quiet think about all those things. I think it's a massive time of personal change for me, And there seems to be a massive time of sort of change and that in the world. And I think a lot of people feel very unsure about, you know, the future and things like that. And I think it's very important to keep hope, always, and to do, you know, what you can in your life and in your sort of everyday existence wherever you are, you know, to be a good citizen, to be a good person, to be a good individual, because I think that ultimately, I think you know, speaks volumes. And I think then there are huge connections, and especially with the internet, you know, when I watch some of the channels that I'm subscribed to, and I see people who are extremely passionate about their beliefs and extremely passionate about their cultures and things like that, and feeling very distraught and distressed about the way of the world. So I think it's very, very important when things do seem dark and you know, difficult, to just keep on doing what you can, and just to like I say, to be, you know, as good a person as you possibly can in your sort of sphere of influence, and by that I mean, you know, in your everyday life, with your family, with the people that are important to you and close to you, and in your community. And I think then those things have a kind of a massive effect, and then people feel tremendously connected to the world and connected to each other. So I think that's really where I was coming from, sort of just thinking about, you know, history and change and the state of the world. So, you know, keep up you know, positive thoughts, positive actions, and don't give up hope, no matter how dark it seems. You know, people all over the world are feeling very similar things and very similar emotions. So there is a greater connection, I think, sometimes than we perhaps are given to believe, you know, by the media. You know, there is a greater sense of a need for positive change and positive outcomes for everybody. So that's really where I'm coming from. So here I am, having a cup of coffee, having a sit down, having a break, having a smoke, and I would just say that really, and just as I say, don't give up hope. Thank you.